Hello, this is Siloid, and today I will be bringing you a Dream Car Racing 3D stability tutorial. In this tutorial, you will learn how to make a stable car. You have to know how to make a good steering system, how to optimize your shocks, and how to have a good frame before looking at this video. This is going to be the last video that you look at before you have a really good car. So right off the bat, you can easily just plug in the horsepower per ton ratio, which is given to you right there. Now we're going to be looking at Hatter's 12-wheeler for this video, so you can see that its horsepower per ton ratio is 189. So just plug 189 in there. Now this and this, you can pretty much ignore. If you've made your car in symmetry mode, let's throw opaque frames off for a second there and then hide the panels. You'll see that the center of mass is sitting smack dab right there in the middle, sitting right on the line of symmetry, which is represented by a dashed line that has blue dashes, or out of symmetry mode, a white line. Now you might be thinking, well, what about x-axis symmetry? How forward or back should my center of mass be? Well, that doesn't really matter. What really matters is that it's sitting on the line of symmetry. So next, how do I find the height of my center of mass? Just simply line that up with that, then click that point in a way that you can easily click it, and then you can drag it out from behind those parts and line it up with the bottom of your wheel. Click it, and then get that length. Just delete the part now, and go over here. Plug it into the height of the center of mass, and then you're off to sides A, B, C, and D. What are sides A, B, C, and D? Well, this is side A, this is side B, this is side C, and this is side D. Sides B and D will always be the same, and if for some reason they aren't, i.e. you turned symmetry mode off and made some changes accidentally, then you need to fix that. So, now that you have sides B and D, which for this car happen to be 3. You might be thinking, well, what about this contact patch? I mean, these are 6 contact patches, and each contact patch is the corner of a polygon. Well, this is just slightly a hexagon, just very, very slightly, and the amount that changes the stance doesn't really affect much of anything, so we're just gonna ignore that. But if you really wanted to, you could find the area of a hexagon and plug that into the Excel spreadsheet, and it'd work perfectly fine. So now how do you get the sides for A and C? Well, you just bring it out to the edge of the wheel, because you want to include the width of your wheel for this, as the width of your wheel will increase the stance of your vehicle. So we see that's 3.4. Now since this vehicle has a very rectangle-y shape, you can easily see just by looking at that line right there and that line right there that sides A and C are going to be the same. But if you had a trapezoid shaped car, for example like that, you would have different A and C values, and that's why I have them listed as different values in the Excel spreadsheet. So go ahead and throw all of those in, and it will give you that number, and if you already have the horsepower per ton ratio in, it will also give you that number. The only numbers you really need to pay attention to are that number and that number. I suggest that you keep this number below 20, and you can do that by either decreasing the horsepower, lowering the height of the center of mass, or increasing the stance of your vehicle by either making it longer or wider. Now, looking at the front to sides ratio. You want this to be below 80%. I don't have data plotted out yet to give you a very firm answer for this one, but as a general rule of thumb, just like I said, general rule of thumb for this one being below 20, you want this to be below 80. Now this is higher than 80, so what does that mean? What will happen now that it's higher than 80? Well, I'll show you right here in a race. I haven't turned very much yet, but there are some very quick turns coming right up over here. As you can see, the suspension of this car isn't very good at all, but it gets the job done and we get out of that area. But right as we take this turn right here, we spin out. Now if this car had a better front to sides ratio, it wouldn't have spun out right there. So that's a very, very simple fix. You just make the car longer. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please like it if you like it, dislike it if you disliked it, and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Please subscribe